I'm so excited.
Long time no see.
I know. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Who Get It podcast. I am Sam.
I'm Julia.
I actually remembered to intro this time.
Oh yeah, starting off strong.
I'm so excited. Our last episode was pre-recorded, so it's been a couple of weeks.
It has.
I haven't talked to you since before all of my travels.
I know. I'm so excited to hear all about it.
Yeah, so we're just gonna it's gonna be a fun episode. We're just gonna kind of catch up, and I really want to talk about influencer culture because I also went on a brand trip recently, and it was very interesting, and I have a lot to share and a lot of thoughts. So
I saw you. I think I saw your stories. I didn't realize you were going on a Dirt Devil trip. I was like, what is she doing?
I know it felt kind of random, but hey, if
Why not?
company reaches out and is like, hey, let's fly you first class and put you in a fancy hotel and give you a free meal, you're not going to say no.
Of course not.
Especially when you get a +1.
Oh, hell yeah. So where do we even begin?
Well, let's start with you because I want to know. I know you threw your friend Cass.
My friend Cass, yeah.
You threw her bachelorette, and that looked so fun. I was watching on Instagram stories.
Yeah, we went to Seneca Lake out in the Finger Lakes. It's a finger lake. I don't really know how you're supposed to refer to it. But it was great. We had amazing weather. We had a little cottage right on the lake, and it was so teeny, but it was fine for it was 5 of us, so it worked out. And we hit up a bunch of wineries. We drank pretty much, I wouldn't say all day every day, but most of the day every day. Which I was
You should.
of course, I was like, oh, I'm gonna feel awful, but I actually felt pretty good the whole time. So that was a plus. And yes, the one day, I guess it was Sunday, we just kind of floated on the lake for the day and we grilled. I made the most amazing burger. It looked insanely good.
Oh, I didn't know you were a grill master.
Well, actually my friend Bree did the grilling, but I assembled it.
Oh.
And it kind of looked just like a Krabby Patty. So
Okay.
we're pretty stunned. But yeah, I love being out by a lake or a beach or something. So it was a nice way to end the summer. It was perfect little trip. And it was really fun to be with all of them. And now I come home and it's 90 degrees this week, which is brutal, but we had 80 degree. It was really good. I got a little tan.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's mostly on my arms.
Mm.
Yeah, and then during that whole time, last week, I've been working on a house. I'm not really sure where we left off.
That's what I was going to ask. How's the house hunting process going?
I'm hoping the house hunting is over. Because I found a really cute place and I've been doing all the stuff. I had no idea how much stuff is involved in getting a loan and getting the house. I've had the inspection, I'm about to have the appraisal, there's this and there's that, and all these different things that the loan officer or whoever does that, she needs all my bank statements, and I feel it's never ending and I want it to be over so bad. Very much. I'm a little overwhelmed about it. I'm not super stressed. It's just a lot. And I'm how am I not done giving her my information? It's just so much stuff. But I'm really hoping for the best. I have the appraisal, and then I think I'm still learning how it works. I think next we could get into like closing. Like,
Nice.
so I'm like
I'm
excited.
glad you're going through this so that way when the time comes for me, I can just ask you a million questions.
I think I'm gonna block it out of my memory because it's just like it's one of those things that you think is so fun. Oh, I'm an adult. I can go house shopping and I can find such a cute little house. And then all the fun is sucked out of it by like the money stuff and the inspector stuff and like just the all of it is a lot. But I'm hoping I'm nearing the finish line. And I don't know. So keep your fingers crossed for me because I still feel like they're gonna be like, you know what? Never mind. We don't want your offer. Um, because the market is so insane. But apparently there were other offers. Some were even higher than mine, and they still picked mine for like other reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping it works out for me because it's hard to find good. Like if you're looking, I feel like for under 250,000, the options are limited. Like
Yeah.
very limited. So to come across something that was like it's pretty move and ready for me. I just kind of have to paint. There's nothing that I couldn't live with for however long. Um, it's got nice hardwood floors. It's got a deck, which I've been really dying for, like an outdoor space. So it's perfect. The yard's fenced in, so I could get a dog. And you can bring Benny up and visit.
Yes.
And I really love it. It's really cute. And I'm just kind of trying to not get ahead of myself and be like, it's my house. Even though I think I've been calling it my house to everyone, but things can happen. So I'm just trying to be patient, even though it's very hard.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. Honestly, though, like I don't really know everything because I've never bought a house before. I kind of remember like witnessing the process when my parents bought their house, but I mean I was like 10 at the time, so obviously I didn't understand what was going
Right.
on, but it just is very overwhelming and that's why like I as much as it the idea of like owning a house is so great, but I'm like it's just I don't know, it's just overwhelming and I like to consider myself a pretty independent person, but honestly, I'm like I would love to just have a partner to go through it all with.
I know. And that's what I like. I've been thinking about that more because I'm doing it by myself. And I'm like, well, it'd be really cool to do this with somebody, but like, I'm terrified. I'm very scared to like, this is a big thing. And for it to just be me and my one income. And, you know, my family lives in Pennsylvania. So, like, it's, it's scary for sure, but I also don't want to like I'm not going to wait around until I have a partner to do things. And I actually think my sister she did I I'm not even meaning to, but I feel like I'm just like following her like way of doing things cuz she had moved out across she moved to Pittsburgh kind of right after college and started working out there. She eventually moved back to Eastern Pennsylvania, but she still lives about an hour and a half from her hometown. Um, and she bought her own house first before she met her husband, and she got a dog by herself, and she, like, we just kind of, I don't know, I think maybe the way we grew up, we're just like, we're gonna do it ourselves. I don't want to have to rely on anyone. I don't want to wait around and feel like I can only do things when I have a partner because like where are they?
Yeah.
I have not yet met like a reliable man that I want to be with that I would want to do something like that with. So if I'm doing it by myself, it's harder and it's more scary, I think, but I still want it. I might have said before, like I have a lot of goals and plans for my life. that I'm going to do with or without a partner. Like
Yeah.
everything. I will have kids by myself. I don't care because like the way dating is going, I can't just wait around. I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I want a lot of things for myself. A great partner and like love is one of them, but I'm not waiting for that for like a house and a dog and
I think
actually,
that's great though. Like it's so empowering and badass and admirable that you are doing that and you're able to do that by yourself. And I think also it's a good thing because you're not waiting around because I feel like it could be easy to be like, "Oh, well, I'm waiting to find the right person so that then I can do all of these things I want." And then it almost is like, "Well, then are you going to like rush into something that's not necessarily right just because you want all of those other things?"
yeah,
But
exactly.
you can just do it by yourself, and then, like, when you meet the right person, great, they'll just add to your life, you don't need them, you're not waiting for them.
Right. And I think again, like I don't know if I would feel okay doing it if I didn't see my sister do it. And I was like, oh, she can do it and we can do it. And of course, our parents are really supportive, which helps. They helped me with the down payment, which was part of the freaking process. If you get a gift when you buy a house, that's a whole other thing. Um, but I've lucked out in that way. And of course, they were like, we'll help you with a house or we'll help you with a wedding. So I obviously picked house because
Well, yeah, I mean
my dream wedding won't cost much. It's Taco Bell. So, but then the other thing about it is so the love bomber, he's whatever, besides him being him, he got himself, well, he got a house for him and others. But like now, us being a little bit in touch, like I kind of know some things. And he got a dog and he's doing him. And I'm like, if all these men are out here just doing them like their thing and not waiting for partners or whatever, then I'm not waiting around either. Like
yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with that. So as scary as it is, it's something that I want and it's something that I'm able to do, so I'm gonna do it.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And hopefully you'll be inspiring to other people too that, like the way you had your sister to kind of look to as an example, maybe you can be an example for someone else.
I hope so. And I hope that one day, like, a partner comes and they, like you said, can add to my life. But, like, until then, I'm just going to enjoy, like, life is not all about a partner and having a boyfriend. And, like, my life has never really been about that because I've had one boyfriend. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't feel like you need a partner to do things. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I got a work phone. That's cool. Makes me feel important.
Oh,
But
that's nice. So the new like job situation's going well.
yeah, I mean it's like the same job, just different company. So
Hmm.
I get to use the gym, I get a work phone, I get to take on more stuff. So it's good. And I think that's it. I've been talking
Nice.
to my domestic partner a little bit.
Oh, he finally reappeared.
Oh yeah, he called me like a bunch. But I don't know what that's about. So
Okay. You haven't seen him?
no, I'm gonna ask him if he's gonna be around this week because last week he was like, yeah, I might be, and then wasn't. Didn't work out, which I know it's hard because like he drives through and schedules change and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like, don't call me if you're not gonna hang out.
Yeah.
Is how I feel.
Well,
We'll see. I'll keep you posted, but let's get into all your stuff. because you had a lot more going on than me.
Yeah, so I have been go, go, go the last couple weeks. So I, like 2 weeks ago on Friday, flew down to Miami, stayed in Miami for the night
Mhm.
because I went on a cruise. So my friend Paul invited me and our friend Haley to come on a cruise with it was a huge group of people. And I was still like, like men sometimes are not like the best at explaining things.
Yeah.
So like he's like, yo, you want to come on this cruise with us? We have like an extra spot. And I was like, sure, cool. Like, just tell me how much I owe you and where to be and when, and I'm there. But I was kind of unclear of like who exactly is going to be there, like what is the situation. It was 3 families all on this cruise. So altogether, the group that we had was almost 50 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Flew down to Miami, stayed there for the night, went out in Miami, so much fun. And then Saturday got on the cruise, and it was an 8-day cruise,
Oh,
which was
wow.
very long. And it was my first time on a cruise. So I had so much anxiety because I was like, I'm very claustrophobic. And I just get really bad anxiety lately, especially like anytime I'm traveling or just like away from home, away from my dog.
Right.
So I didn't know how it was gonna go, but it actually was really fun. It was Carnival, which I wouldn't recommend because
Oh.
I don't know. I was like, ooh, we were so excited about the food
Hmm.
because Paul has been on multiple cruises before. Like they're cruise people, and he was like raving about how it's so fun and the food is so good and this and that. And then we get on this one and we were like, this is not what you told us. Like the food, literally, I felt like it was giving hospital food a little
Uh,
bit.
hmm.
Yeah. Um, but I've heard people have said like Carnival's not really like the best.
I
So
heard,
I'm willing to give it another try on a different cruise line.
yeah. Isn't like Royal Caribbean supposed to be good?
That's what, yeah, I've heard Norwegian also is
Oh, yeah, yeah.
supposed to be good. Because so many people are like obsessed with cruises, and I was the whole time I was like, I don't really get this.
That's how I feel.
But then towards the end, I was like, okay, this was fun actually. Like I do kind of see the appeal.
Was the, did it have any stops?
Yeah, so we had 4 stops.
Ooh.
We went to, so we had, I think it was like 2 or 3 full days, the first few days at sea.
Wow.
The one day we were passing by a tropical storm, so the waters were really, really rough. And I
Oh.
was hungover from the night before, so I was super sick. And I just was in bed like the whole day. It sucked.
Mm-hmm.
But then our first stop was Aruba.
Ooh.
So I had never been before. It was so fun. We were literally just at the beach like the whole entire day, drinking, swimming, playing volleyball, just hanging out.
Um,
And then our second stop was Bonaire, which I had never even heard of before. It's just like a little island in the Caribbean.
huh.
Very up and coming, I
Oh,
feel like.
up and coming island.
It was very cute.
Hey.
And just beautiful. Like the water was so clear and clean and beautiful. And then we went to 2 places in the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
And then our last day was like another day at sea going back to Miami.
Yeah.
So it was fun and we got to see a lot, which was cool. And we did do an excursion. The last stop we went to, we did this waterfall excursion. We like hiked up this mountain and then we went down these like natural water slides. It
Oh my God.
was unreal. Like definitely a memory, like core memory that I'll
Yeah.
always remember. Um so it was cool like getting to see so many places, but the only thing that I didn't really love was I felt like we had such limited time in each place.
Mhm.
And unless you really like do your research ahead of time and you have a plan of like, okay, when we get to this place, this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. I was just very like go with the flow.
Right.
So by the time we got there, we kind of like got together with our group, figured out where we were going to go, found a taxi, drove to wherever we wanted to go. We only ended up having like a couple hours. And then
Oh,
you have to find a taxi back, and you need to make sure you're obviously back on the boat by a certain time before they leave your ass.
that
So,
yeah, that's always what I felt like I wouldn't like. Like, I don't like to feel like I have to do something. Like, that's why I always hated summer camp, because it's like, "No, you have to do that." I'm like, "I don't wanna go there." Like, what if we
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we didn't do like we only did excursion, like the one excursion on the last place. The rest of the time we like just went to the beach and hung out like at these beach bars, and we were just like at the ocean. Um which was nice, but it just I don't know, there was like that level of stress.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it is nice because we got to see a lot, and now I'm like, oh, okay. I really liked Aruba. I would definitely like to go back there and actually like stay for a few days.
Right.
So you get a little taste, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, we had a really good group. Um, it was very interesting. It was me, Haley, our friend Paul, and then his friend Steve. So we were sharing a room with two guys, and the rooms are pretty tiny.
Yeah.
So we had like two little like dorm sized single beds and then a bunk bed
Oh,
that the
wow.
guys slept on. Yeah. But like I don't know, it kind of felt like I was at camp, which I've never done before. And I was
Right.
like, "Ooh, this is fun."
It's definitely different. I mean, I'll I wouldn't say no to one, but I don't know. I never
I think it
thought.
depends the group of people you're with, because I truly believe that like if you're with a good group, doesn't matter what you're doing,
Yeah.
like it'll be fun no matter what. But
Uh,
we definitely made the most of it, and it was fun, and it's interesting when you're just like stuck in close quarters with people for so long. Like I don't do you watch Love Island?
no.
Okay, well, that's my favorite show. I'll be on it one day, hopefully. It's my dream. Um,
Sure.
but they like, they live in this little villa, like isolated from the outside world for like 2 months or something, and they get so close to each other. And it's like you only met that person like 2 days ago. But after being on this cruise, I'm like, wait, I get it.
Right.
Because it's like when you really are just spending so much time with someone constantly 24/7, you get close really fast.
Makes sense.
Like a lot of the people that we were with were strangers when we first got on the boat. And then by the end of the 8 days, I was like, I feel like we're family.
Like, no, that's my best
I
friend.
love that. I know. I love those kinds of trips. So it was really fun. And then we got back to Miami, spent another night there. And
Mhm.
then I flew home on Monday, got home Monday evening. And then Tuesday, flew out again to Charlotte
Oh,
for the brand trip that I went on.
oh my gosh.
And then I was in Charlotte for 2 nights.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of go, go, go. But yeah, so the brand trip is like the main thing that I want to talk about because I just think it's so
Mhm.
interesting. So Dirt Devil, I worked with them doing like YouTube video sponsorships several times over like the last year or two.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, they emailed me a few months ago and they were like, "Hey, we're doing this big symposium. We'd love for you to come. We'll fly you out and da da da." And I was like, "Okay." I have no idea what to expect. I didn't know how big it was going to be, how many people were going to be there, who was going to be there. But they said I could bring a plus one, so I was like, "Great. I'll bring Haley, and then like it should be interesting no matter what." Um So yeah, they flew. I mean, Wilmington to Charlotte, the flight is like 30 minutes.
Was it?
But we flew first class, which was my first time, which was very cool.
Class on what?
American.
Ooh.
So it wasn't like super bougie, but I mean, it was still nice. It was very
It wasn't,
spacious and comfortable.
yeah, it wasn't like Frontier where first class is like extra leg room.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we got there in the evening on Tuesday, or like in the afternoon Tuesday. They came and picked us up from the airport, and they had a little sign. It
Oh,
was cute. And then we went to this hotel. We stayed at the Grand Bohemian Hotel downtown. It was very fancy.
how is it?
And then they had like this charter bus basically pick us all up. We met in the lobby, got on the bus, it drove us to this like cool like arcade bar kind of place, and they just had like a buffet spread, and they gave us drink cards and these little like cards so we could play like unlimited games,
Ooh.
and we all just like mingled and talked, and I think there was like maybe 10 or so like influencers invited, and then everybody had their plus one,
Right.
so it was like a little bit of a smaller group.
Mhm.
And then the second day was like the big event where they like brought us to the headquarters and showed us their like factory, and the way that they like make the products, test them, all this kind of stuff. And then we went to a showroom where they demoed like all of the products that they have out, and we got to like test everything and kind of play around, and then they had like a nice dinner for us, and then the next morning we flew home. So that was like what the trip entailed.
Mhm.
But it was interesting because I've done like I've been to like events with influencers before.
I remember when you went to a Knicks event and you brought us all goodie bags.
Oh yeah, when I brought back the makeup bags. Yes. So
Yes.
I've been to like a good amount, but everything I had went to before was all beauty stuff, and it was, all beauty influencers. So I just thought like, oh, it's just like beauty people in the beauty space are just like bitches.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see like influencers of different genres, because everybody there was like, it was a interesting mix.
Uh-huh.
There were like, just some general lifestyle people, some DIY
Would I
people,
know?
like I think so. I don't want to name any names just
Oh.
because I don't want, and like I don't want it to seem like I'm trash talking anybody specific.
You can tell me later.
I'll tell you later. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of just a weird, strange. There was a Disney influencer.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even really realize that was a thing. And we all kind of were like, yeah, it's so random. Like, I don't know why they invited me. Like, I didn't know what to expect. This feels kind of weird, because we all thought like, oh, it's just gonna be like mommy vloggers and like
Yeah.
cleaning people,
Yeah.
but it was just like a mix. I feel like most people that do social media and are successful with social media in real life are very awkward.
Really?
And it's interesting because it's like you see somebody and they have like a shit ton of followers, and they'll like be on on their phone like, hey guys, like super confident, and they'll seem like so outgoing and so like, oh, and they make their life look so amazing, like they're doing all these cool things, but I'm like, in real life though, I feel like a lot of them are awkward, shy, have social anxiety, don't know how to function in the outside world with strangers, and that's why they're successful at what they do, because they are just so like this all the time, you know? And
Huh.
I find that like, and I am by no means like trying to put myself on a pedestal and say I'm like better or anything than anybody, but I feel like I have like on this trip, for example, like I like barely really got any content or footage of anything because like I was just so in the moment and I'm like trying to meet the people that work for the company and I'm interacting and all of that and I'm not thinking like, oh, I should take a picture of that or I should be recording this or oh, let me I don't know, like make this look all cool or whatever.
Mhm.
And like even when I'm on like just regular trips or vacation, like I'm just busy being in the moment, like living life, enjoying it. I'm not thinking like, oh, let me get content or oh, how can I make this look cool for my Instagram? And I don't know, like I feel like every influencer event I've been to, people are I don't it's like it's weird because it's like, are they just stuck up and they
Mm.
don't want to talk to me because they think that they're better than me? Or are they not talking because they're just really socially awkward and shy and don't know how to make conversation?
Hmm. That's surprising. I wouldn't have thought that.
It's so interesting. And what was cool about this trip was like when I got there, I didn't recognize anyone. And then so I got to like meet them at just as normal people first. And then I
Mhm.
looked them up afterwards and I was like, damn, some of them have a lot of fucking followers.
Oh.
And then I was scrolling through their stuff and I was like, this is weird that this is the person I was just talking to last night. Like
Hmm.
it's interesting to see someone as a normal human in the real world and then see like their online persona.
And have them be different.
Yeah, like
'Cause I would assume they would be the same as
some people are like very different and then some people are it's them but it's just like a more amped up version of them, you know. It's interesting too to see how we can be experiencing the exact same thing in real life and it's like okay yeah like this is pretty cool but it, it's not that exciting.
right.
And then they will go to their hotel room like during the day, right? We're in the factory and it's like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool." But like none of us were there like, "Oh my god, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. What? Wait, do that again." You know, like we were all just like, "Cool." Like I think people honestly, we were the most excited. Like there was one area where they had lab coats and like goggles and we were able to put them on and take pictures. Everyone was more excited about that and getting a cute picture than they were about like
The
how the
actual
freaking vacuums are made, you know? And a lot of people, like, there was one person in particular at this event that was just kind of like, like kept making faces like, I am so over talking about vacuums.
Oh.
Fast forward after the event, we all go up to that was everything too. After we got back from the dinner, it was like maybe 6 p.m. Nobody was going home till the next day. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, we're in downtown Charlotte at this beautiful hotel that has like a really nice bar and a lounge and rooftop and all like so I'm asking everybody like, hey, like what are your plans the rest of the evening? Like, you plan on doing anything? Like, let's all hang out. Let's no, everyone's just like, yeah, I don't know. Rushes into the elevator, just goes up to their hotel room. Like,
Oh.
okay. Fast forward like an hour or so later, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see all these Instagram reels and they're like making like the whole experience seem so much cooler than it actually and listen, I'm so grateful I was invited. Like it was fun and it was a cool experience, but like they're making it seem like it was some next level, like amazing, cool ass shit. And the way they're talking in their videos too, like, oh my God, it was so cool. And then look what this thing does. Oh my God, it was amazing. And it's not like they asked us to post anything. We weren't being paid to do so. There was no like requirement.
I was gonna ask because then it would make sense, but
Right. Like they were just, I guess, trying to do it to like get on, I don't know if it was to just like get on good terms with the brand and make sure they continue their partnerships, or just to have more content to like make their life seem more interesting. But it was just so weird. And like Haley was there with me as my plus one, and she obviously doesn't like do any influencer stuff, has never been to any events, never met any influencers in real life. And she was just blown away the whole time. She was like, this is so weird. Like, it's just crazy how different it is in real life versus what you're seeing on social media.
yeah. And I feel like that's like a very like it's Dirt Devil. It's not like some of the crazy like Tarte. Imagine like a Tarte brand trip. I think I kept seeing stuff about that.
That's what I'm saying though. And like, again, everybody that I met there, everyone from the company was amazing. I'm so appreciative to have been invited. Like, it was a really cool experience. I'm glad that I went. But like, I mean, come on, like they were acting as if it was like Tesla invited them to space. Like, come on. Like, relax.
Well, did you get any free vacuum?
We they It has yet to arrive, but they told us that we were getting everything.
Oh my God.
Every product that they make. I was like, that part was very cool and exciting.
That's a lot of stuff.
I know. I'm like, where am I going to fit all? I need to move now.
Now you need to buy a house to fit your vacuums.
Yeah. It's interesting though, because it reminded me, I hadn't gone to any influencer events in a few years because, like, you know, after COVID and everything, it kind of slowed down. But I used to go to a lot of events in New York City for like makeup stuff. And there were a few like big, well-known beauty influencers that I had met, like, you know, and this is like back in the day. But it's just interesting because it's like you see them in person and sometimes they're just different than what you would expect.
Like, who have you met that I might know? James Charles.
No. Do you know who Kelly Strack is?
I do not.
If you saw her, maybe you would recognize her, because I feel like she's like, her videos are always like all over the place. But I had met her, and actually she now like kind of blew up, but I met her like back when she was like just first starting. And she is super, super nice. Do you know, I think now her thing is Megan Lee, but she used to be Chow Bella. She's like an old school like beauty YouTuber.
I might have come across her before, not recently. Chow Bella. I don't know.
Yeah, I met her. We still follow each other. She was amazing. Who else? Amanda Ensing.
I'm gonna have to look all these people up and
I think if you saw them, you would know. But like, yeah, because this was back in like 2016, 2015. Yeah. So yeah, like they're more like the old school like beauty YouTubers.
Right.
Oh, I saw Ariana Grande's brother at an event once.
Wow.
Ariana Grande sitting in spiky brain.
That was creepy.
You hear that? Thanks.
Information.
Nobody asked.
For real.
In case you didn't know, Alexa wants you to know that.
That's really funny though, because I have one right here and it didn't it didn't do anything or respond.
I'm freaked out.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think who else. I don't know, but a few others, but again, they're like old school people, and I don't even know if they're like super relevant anymore. But I mean, and some people were great and super nice, but for the most part, I feel like anytime I would go to those kinds of events, I just felt like I didn't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like people would really go all out. Like they would dress like they were going to the red carpet.
Oh wow.
I remember one time I went to, I think it was either Nick's or Morphe. They were opening a store in a mall in Jersey. I forget which one it was. And they were doing like a grand opening and they invited all these influencers and stuff. So I went to that and there were a lot of people there. But it's like we're in a mall
Yeah.
in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So like I wore jeans. And I did my makeup and like I looked nice, but like I'm not gonna wear a ball gown to the mall. Oh no, I was severely underdressed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. And people just, oh, I just remembered another one. You know, Farah Dukai?
That sounds very familiar.
I think she ended up making like a makeup brand or something, like with her husband.
Yeah. It's like a
I met her.
you up.
Yeah, I was at an event where she was, and I didn't really talk to her much, so I don't have anything to say about her, any opinion. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like people just, and it's very much like, especially with the beauty in the beauty space, it's so like, oh, so what's your Instagram? Like, what are your numbers? How many follow? Like, and you pull up your Instagram, and if you have less followers than them and they can't like benefit from you, then it's just like, hmm. But
Oh,
if you have a lot of followers, then they're like kissing your ass.
right.
So that's interesting. It's very honestly like any movie or TV show you see that's like making fun of influencers, it's pretty accurate. Like it really is.
Good to know.
It really is. And obviously that's not the case for everyone, but
Yeah.
generally speaking as a whole, that's been my experience anyway.
I feel like a lot of these people that get like really major, they must like network like that and be like, oh, I can't even mess with you if you're, which is rude. Like you could still be nice to people. I feel like so much of it must be networking and just like playing the game and like the algorithms and like all the stuff to try to get like the most views and the most followers. That so much of it, like they almost have to be fake people.
Yeah. Yeah, because everything that you're doing is so calculated. And it just made it every time I am in those kinds of spaces, it just makes me feel like inferior. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not a good enough influencer. I should be doing more. I should be doing, XYZ. I should be curating my life because like I think about that. I'm like, oh my God, they make this look so much more aesthetic and they make it look so much more exciting. No wonder they have all these followers because people want to consume this content. It makes them like it's interesting to watch, even though what they actually did wasn't that interesting.
Right.
And I feel like I mean, part of it also is just like kind of laziness, to be honest. Like, because it's a lot of work to like sit there and make sure you're getting the right shot of every little fucking thing. You're like, if I'm invited to a dinner and I sit down and like there's a meal in front of me, like maybe I'll take a quick picture, but I'm not gonna sit there and make sure that it's like all perfectly. No, I'm gonna fucking start eating.
Right.
Like so
Huh.
it's time consuming and it is a lot of work to do that. And I feel like I'm just very raw and I just kind of like post things in real time and I don't put a lot of like time and effort into curating it to make it seem like nicer or cooler than it is. It just is what it is.
Right. Which I almost feel like the more real people are, the less people like the content, or like, I feel because I keep it so real, sometimes people like me less. Because I'm
I
not
feel that
ever, ever. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think it I think it rubs people the wrong way sometimes. That's different, of course, than like your content and stuff. But I feel like sometimes people don't want to see or hear real.
no, it's true. And I do think that part of it is like we consume things because we want an escape from our everyday real life. And even though I like for the most part, I like watching just normal real life stuff. Like I'd rather watch someone just like clean their house and do like
Yeah.
a grocery haul than like watch someone go like on a trip to Bali.
Yeah, me too.
Most of the time, that's just me. But I think a lot of people are like, I want to be able to like fantasize and have something to like aspire to, something that seems like fun and exciting and interesting. Like they don't always necessarily just want to see someone that's like doing the same kind of stuff as them because
That's
it's
fair.
boring.
But do you want to know what my favorite stuff to watch now, like YouTube, TikTok, whatever,
Well,
is like thrifting videos. Like all the cool things people can find, like Goodwill, Salvation Army, or even like antiquing. I'm so into that right now.
yeah, I go through phases with that, but
But
I enjoy thrifting
I don't
hauls.
you should post a video. Video idea,
I
because
know.
that gets me every time. And it's like I'm more likely to watch that than like come with me through this extravagant, I don't know. But I mean, that's why there's so many influencers and so many people out there getting all these views, because people like different things.
Yeah. No, it's very true. I don't know. It's very interesting. And it makes me think, I'm like, I see some of these people and they have so many followers and these people like love them, but it's like if they actually knew them in real life, like if they went to high school with this person, would they still feel that way?
Right.
In some cases, yes, but in some, probably not.
How could you ever tell? Because like they're just out there on their, maybe they're not being fake, but like it's not the real them or like their real life.
Yeah. It's hard too because I was thinking even with myself, like I wasn't really necessarily being like the most social. I think in general, I'm not always the most social and I'm not super approachable all the time.
I would agree.
Yeah, I know. Even though once people do approach me though, like I think I'm nice and friendly. I just sometimes I'm just like physically here, mentally I'm not.
I
And
feel
I
like,
just have my resting bitch face on and
yeah, I feel like I don't know if we talked about our meeting and stuff, and like, I know we did last season, but like when I first saw you, I was like, oh my God, she looks so cool and beautiful. And like, I want to be her friend, but I couldn't approach you. And then you said the same about me. Or
yeah.
not so cool and beautiful, but like that I was not approachable.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just is part of also being like more on the shy side and it depends on my mood. Like sometimes depending on where I am and what kind of like where my social battery level is at, like I'll be really outgoing and friendly and then other times not so much. And on that trip in particular, obviously after just coming back from a week and a half of constantly being around people 24/7, like I was drained and it was hard for me to make conversation, put myself out there, introduce myself, all of that. So I probably came off as like a bit like, who knows? Some of the people at that event probably were thinking that I was stuck up and bitchy.
You never know.
So yeah, you never know.
Any other?
But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, well, yeah, last night was like my living nightmare. So listen to this. Sunday, like early afternoon, I noticed it was really hot in here and I bumped the temperature down. It's not like no cold air is blowing out. The temperature just keeps going up. I'm like, oh, no. So I put in a work order, but I knew like, I was like, it's not like a big enough, like it's not an emergency. I don't want to make somebody come on a holiday to fix it. So I just slept, like at night, I just had the window open, got a breeze, had the fan on, it was fine. Last night, I go to do the same thing. And I'm laying in bed, it's pitch black in my room. I'm like just starting to drift off. And all of a sudden, I feel something smack the side of my leg. And I jump up out of bed, freaking out. I turn the lights on. I'm looking around. I don't see anything. And I'm like, was I just hallucinating? Like, what, when you start falling asleep and you think you're falling or something. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, I'm trying to find like something to depict the size of this. Shit was big, okay? Big ass, like probably like if you're watching the video, like honestly, probably like this big. Like it was huge. Water bug, as they like to call it in the South. We all know what that means. It was a roach.
No.
Flew in through my window. Like I had the screen closed, but it crawled its way in somehow, flew from the window, smacked into my leg, and it's now flying around. It flies out into the hallway. I'm screaming bloody murder because that is my worst nightmare. Because like I'll find like they'll make their way into the apartment. It's part of living in the South. It is what it is. But I have pest control come and spray regularly. So when I see them, it's usually already dead or it's like almost dead, But this one just came straight in through the window. So it's fully alive, literally flying, fully alive, fast as fuck. So it's in the hallway. I slam my bedroom door shut. I'm screaming. I'm hyperventilating. I'm like, ew, so fucking creeped out. I'm like shaking off my legs. Like I'm just, I have the heebie-jeebies. This bitch crawls under the fucking bedroom door, comes into my bedroom. And so like I'm running all over the place, freaking out. It's literally following me, charging, like running full fucking speed at me. I was like, what? Leave me alone. Like, what do you want from me? Is it not enough that you've invaded my space? That like, what do you get away?
Maybe he was a fan of you. Maybe he's a girl who gets it.
Oh, yeah. You want my autograph? Like, ew, please get away. So, yeah, I stomped the shit out of it. And I killed it. It was so fucking disgusting. And yeah, it was really traumatizing. So then I was like, well, I can't. First of all, it was literally 88 degrees in my apartment. You would have been in hell.
I would have left.
Yeah, it was cooler outside than it was inside. And there was like no breeze. So like the air was just not circulating and not coming inside. That's probably why the roach came in, because it was like flying by and it was like, ooh, nice and toasty. Let me go here. So I called Haley. This was like 10:30 at night. I call Haley and I was like, are you awake? Because I'm coming over. Like, I cannot stay here because I cannot sleep in this room now after what just happened. I'm traumatized. And also, I certainly can't sleep in here with the window open. Another one's going to come in.
Exactly.
But I can't close the window because then I will literally bake alive.
Exactly.
So I had to be to work early this morning. So I just really quickly packed a bag and drove over to her place last night, slept on her couch.
Something like that would have had me on a plane home to Pennsylvania with all of my belongings.
Yeah, it was really disgusting. But because I have pest control come and they literally were just here like a week ago and did like a fresh spray. So I know like if anything else gets in, it's not surviving more than like an hour or two, you know? So like that makes me feel better.
Is your air fixed?
It's fixed. It fixed. Yeah. They came this morning
Okay.
while I was at work. Thank God.
Like, check for bugs while you're in there.
Yeah. And when I got home from work, it was nice and cool in here. So now it's good again. And
Oh my god.
yeah, I will be sleeping with the windows closed nice and tight tonight.
I would have died.
Oh my God, it was so disgusting.
Oh, water bugs.
What?
Why do they call them water bugs? That is a damn cockroach.
I know. Well, it's because I guess there's like different like types of roaches, and the water bugs are not like as I don't know if invasive is the right word, but like if you see, you know how like the regular like house roaches, if you see one, it's like, oh, there's a bunch more. Like it's an infestation. Water bugs like just more so like live outside, and they'll just like find their way in through like pipes, and they're just kind of like looking for food, but they're not looking to like infest your home necessarily.
I'm looking one up right now.
So that's why they call them differently, and it's like it's not, if you see one in your house, it's not like an alarming thing. It's like you can just kill it and move on. But if you see like a German cockroach, then you have to call like an exterminator, because that's a problem.
They're all a problem to
But
me.
they're all disgusting. Like I don't want any of them. But yeah, that's just it's one of the few cons of living down here, I will say. Because, well, you know, when you were down here, we saw them outside when we were like downtown by the river.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta put my feet up.
Yeah, so it just is what it is. Like that's just a normal thing down here.
I don't know if I could do it.
But you get pest control, come and spray regularly, and then you're fine.
Maybe I will move down there and open a pest control business.
For real. You'd make great money because they're year round too. It's not like, because it stays pretty warm year round. So yeah,
Good.
not great times, but
That's gonna
you know,
keep me up tonight.
I know now I'm getting the heebie-jeebies again thinking about it. I felt fine, but now I'm freaking myself out again. It's rough though, but you know, like growing up in New York City and then living in Philly for several years, I've had my fair share of roach encounters.
Yeah. I'm scared that they're gonna come find me or something.
One time when I was in Philly, we had a roach problem in one of the houses I lived in the one year, and oh my God, I will never forget to this day. Sorry, but you know, we already went there, so why not? I went to go like move the curtain, and I guess there was one like on top of at the top of the curtain, and it like when I moved it, it fell down onto my head.
Oh my God, I think I would have like just ripped my
Like it just fell, and I felt something hit me, and I freaked out, and then it fell to the ground. I was like,
oh my God.
so disgusting.
Something in my apartment now, like knock on wood. The only thing I'll get, because like I don't have an outdoor space, which is a bummer, but I live on the 4th floor and I got screens on my windows. It's like they don't have a lot of ways in. So that's really cool. I'm sure that's something I'll miss when I'm in this house that's 100 years old and
We'll
has
just have pest control come.
Oh, I sure will.
Have them come, yeah, a few times a year and just spray everything. It honestly, that's your best bet. That's how
Yeah.
I feel too, like, because my apartment's on the 3rd floor. So I feel like if I was on the ground level, it probably would be
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But God, I think about people that live in like Texas and out west that deal with scorpions and stuff. Ugh.
That's true. That's really true.
Imagine you wake up and there's a scorpion like next to your bed.
Big ass tarantula.
Or that. Hell no.
Oh, I'd be sick. I can't talk about this anymore.
Yeah. But this was so good. I was so excited, like looking forward to this all weekend.
I know, I couldn't wait to catch up. I feel like we both had a pretty eventful week. Or weeks.
Definitely.
But let us know, guys, what kind of stuff you want to hear from us. We've got some ideas, but we love to hear your feedback, of course.
Yes, as always. And don't forget, if you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we have video versions of this podcast. So please subscribe to our channel. We're almost at our 3,000 hours, like watch hours.
Whoa.
So we will be monetized before you know it.
Oh my gosh. Look at us.
I know. It's going to feel like we're a legit podcast.
The other day I was talking, I don't make them. I just suggest that they listen to us.
Strongly encourage.
Yeah, all my friends, my coworkers, whatever. And the one time I had told one of my coworkers, I was like, oh, we have this many subscribers, like, and the last time I looked, and then we had like 200 more. And I was like, whoa, what in the world?
I know. We've been growing. It's so exciting.
It's so exciting because, like, I just love interacting with everyone so much on like polls or Instagram or in the comments or whatever. And the more, the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a friend, a sibling, a coworker, anyone that you think might also enjoy this podcast, please spread the word. But that is going to be it for us this week.
Yay! We will TTYL next week.
Yep, we'll see you next Friday with a new episode.